Hello and welcome to the workout. We've got legs, shoulders, abs today. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorites, a brand new workout for you. So we are going to be working in supersets today. That's 2 exercises put together with no rest in between. And then we're going to take a short rest after those supersets. We're going to do 2 sets of each superset. And we've got 5 supersets in total, all for legs, shoulders, abs. Now listen, I am all about helping you build lean, strong muscle. So this is a strength training based workout. What that means is you've got to really work hard with your weight loads so that the last 2 repetitions of every single set are actually hard. Listen, your job is to count out 12 repetitions for each of the exercises I'm gonna demonstrate. And if you get to those last 2 reps and you're like, Holly, I could keep doing 20 of these, you're not using a heavy enough weight load. The name of the game is to feel challenged at 12 repetitions, not 15 or 20. Got it? So you are in charge of your body. You're gonna count your repetitions. I'll demonstrate the exercises. Before we get started, if you wanna work harder, move faster, do more sets, add more weight load. If you wanna work a little bit more gently today, you can go slower. You could do 1 set of each superset. You can do body weight only and you can take your time. Make this workout yours. Let's get it started. Take your feet separated, draw in through your abdomen. That's gonna automatically get that transverse abdominis activated. Take a big inhale up. Exhale it out. And let's do that again. Big inhale up, reaching your hands way up, 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 up. Exhale it out one more time and you're gonna keep your arms up over your head. Now reach for the ceiling, make sure you're breathing, draw in through your abdomen, and your job is to really draw inward here so that you can reach up as high as possible. Actively reaching up, continuing your breath, lengthening out your torso from your rib cage to your hip bone to activate that transverse abdominis. Bend your knees, bring your hands to your knees. I got a new move for you today. Using your hands for support, I want you to take a deep inhale. I want you to exhale all of your air, and then you're going to vacuum, draw your tummy in, hold, and short little breaths, and then relax it out. Let's take an inhale back up to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale. Reach, 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 reach. Activate that transverse abdominis here. And then we're gonna go into that abdominal vacuuming. Short little breaths, but actively reaching long. And then hands come onto your thighs, knees are bent. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it all out. Vacuum your tummy in. And just really suck inward and upward, contracting on your abdomen, drawing it in, short little breaths, and exhale it out. Come all the way up, breathe normally, take your feet separated, take a look down and make sure that your feet are truly parallel to each other, toes pointed forward, bend your knees, push your hips back, engage that abdomen just like we did on that vacuuming exercise, and then we're gonna go side to side. Push your hips back, keep a little bit of neutral, natural arch in your lower back. Really push your hips back, okay? Every now and then take a look down, make sure that your feet are truly staying parallel to each other with your toes forward. That's gonna help you to really get that active and dynamic lengthening on your inner thigh. It's also really gonna help the mobility and the alignment of the leg that you're sitting into. Now we're going through a little active preparatory exercise here to get you ready for the workout. This is actually not the workout. As this feels better, I want you to sit down more deeply. Sitting down as deeply as you can. You can move faster or slower. But the name of the game here is to sit deeply on this bent leg so that we get the glute and the hamstring on that leg firing. One of my favorite preparatory exercises, I do this every day. I do this before every single workout. So good for so many reasons. And let's do one more. And relax. Bring your feet together. Bend your knees. That's gonna lower your center of gravity a little bit. Bring your balance over to your right leg. Keep your right knee bent. I want you to settle into your balance and just hang out here. Now, if this is hard for you, I want you to stay here, tapping down to catch your balance when you need to. But if this is doable and you're like, I could do this all day, I want you to look around your space. When you look around your space, you're intentionally trying to throw your balance off while simultaneously trying to hold your balance with that leg. One of the most important functional moves that you should do every single day. This is one of the best exercises that's gonna keep you young, keep you safe, and keep you healthy. Just make sure you're keeping that knee bent. If it's easy, I want you to really look all the way around you. Don't just move your face, I want you to actually move your eyeballs in space, and that's gonna make this a whole lot harder. Getting that glute medius fired up, really improving so many different aspects of mechanics on your right leg, and relax, feet together. Lower your center of gravity again, really important to keep that knee bent, and bring your weight to the other side. Keep that knee bent. Super important because that's what's gonna activate the hamstring on this leg. And again, you might notice, ooh, this leg is a little harder or this leg is a little easier. If it's harder, spend some time tapping down when you need to. And then look around your space. Now listen, if this is really hard for you, I actually don't want you grabbing a chair to stabilize yourself. I want you to teach yourself to hold your balance. And now listen, I might make it look easy, but the truth is, I can remember crystal clear a day when I was 22 years old, and this was impossible for me. Impossible for me to just stand here like this. It takes time, you'll learn it. This is a skill and a muscular-based activity, just like so many of the other things that we do. One of the best gifts you can give yourself is the gift of balance. So work this, you're gonna feel the arches of your feet grab during this exercise. You're gonna feel your glute and your hip fire up and get warm. You might notice that your lower leg starts to burn a little. Fight for that balance and relax. So we're gonna go to a little bit more of an active movement here, feet together. I want you to take a big reach up, just like we did in the beginning. And then I want you to come all the way back into a runner's lunge. Push into the front leg, big reach, other leg. Alternating sides, moving at the speed and the pace that's right for you today. Making sure you take a big reach up over your head and make sure you're letting your back knee release to the ground right there. So this is great because it's gonna open the hip flexor of the leg that's in back. Right there. It's also gonna fire up glute and hamstring of the leg that's in front. Really drive into your heel of the leg that's in front. And like I said, you can move faster or slower here based on what feels good for you today, but we're beginning to get the heart rate up to get you ready for the workout. Always wanna start with a bit of a preparatory sequence. Let's do one more. And now listen up. I want you to step back into that back position and stay here. Scoop forward, turn towards the leg that's in front, and bring your back hand to the back heel. Hold for about 3 to 5 seconds for the world's greatest stretch. Relax down, step forward, switch sides. Same thing, scoop up. Turn towards the leg that's in front, hand in the back. Upper hand can reach up and back. You can also bring it to your front leg if that's more comfortable. Lifting up, slight arcing back. Short breaths. Do not hold your breath. And let's switch again. We're gonna do 2 on each side. Scooping up. Am I right? Is this not the greatest stretch ever? Oh, it's the best. The best. I turn this into an actual forward lunge forward walking motion with one of these in between each lunge, and it is so good. Switch sides, just so great. One, because it feels great, but it just does so many things in terms of opening up the hip flexor, preparing the foot, activating quadratus lumborum, QL. It's a specific muscle in your back related to your core to get it ready for the workout, and it just feels so good. Step forward, and actually I want you to just step forward into a crouch, and we're gonna hang here just for a moment in this position with your feet under you. If this is comfortable and doable for you, I want you to rock back and forth, bringing some deep flexion to your toes. And if this rocking back and forth is like nothing for you and it's perfectly comfortable on your toes, your arches, and your ankles, if this is easy, then I want you to come all the way forward, put your knees on the floor, and sit back and sit heavy onto those feet. What we're doing here is we're bringing great flexion to the forefeet and the toes, and that is such an important mobility that you want to keep in your feet forever. And as we get older, we tend to lose it. What I've noticed in my clients, you're either really good at this or you're really bad at it, like I am. This is a very challenging posture for me, but it's so good for all of us. Relax and let's tip back. I want you to slowly stand up. Anytime we come up off the floor, I want you to lift your knees 6, 8, 10 times to help bring the blood flow back up to your head. If you're on your own and you're doing your workouts, really important when you're coming up off the floor to do this. Trust me, it helps to bring the blood flow circulating back through the body and up to the brain so you don't get dizzy. Let's get into the workout. Legs, shoulders, abs. First two exercises, you're gonna want heavier dumbbells. If you have a barbell, grab it. We're gonna be doing an Rdl, Romanian deadlift. Feet together, knees definitely bent, arch in your lower back, and you are reaching back, and then you are coming up, all the way up. Hips reaching back, keeping the arch in your lower back, squeezing your glutes at the top. That's our first exercise. Second exercise, you've got two options. You're gonna come down onto the ground for a straight arm plank, or if that's too hard for you, find a chair, a couch, a bench, and you're gonna do a forearm plank on the bench. First one is here. We're gonna hold for 30 seconds. If this doesn't work for you for whatever reason, you are on your elbows on an elevated surface, holding the plank for the same. You ready? Let's get it started. Grab your dumbbells or your barbell, Rdl, 12 reps. Feet are under the hips, knees are definitely bent. Reach those hips back, come up, squeeze your glutes, there's one. What's really important with this exercise is that your hips are getting drawn backwards. It's not that you're bending over, it's that your hips are getting pulled back, and that's gonna cause you to bend forward. Keep the knees bent. If you have a hard time bending your knees here, that's because your hamstrings are weak, and I want you to really work on a limited range of motion, okay, with those knees bent. Squeeze your glutes at the top, 12 reps, and then we're gonna go into 30 seconds on that plank. One more. And let's go for a static plank. Start on your knees, hands are directly under your shoulders, or come to your elevated surface, stepping back. Really activate your leg, step back again, and we are gonna hold. If this is easy for you, like easy, 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 super easy, you can take your feet separated a little bit more, and you can make this active by tapping your shoulder, tapping your other shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. Now, the idea, if you're gonna make this active, the idea is to minimize the left to right movement here. Now, you're probably gonna get a little bit of that, but you wanna minimize that. And relax, knees to the ground. You're gonna sit up for a beat. And then let's stand up, lift your knees 6 to 8 times, short break. That's our first superset. We're gonna do it a second time. And if you want a harder workout today, you're gonna do it a third time before we move on to the next superset. Now remember, on that straight arm plank, if you like making it harder that way, you just wanna make sure that when you're coming to tap the shoulder, you minimize as much of the lean as possible. When you counterbalance, you're gonna wanna shift your weight, most people, but try to minimize as if you were doing it just like this with no change in the core. You can also just hold it as an isometric plank, okay? Second set of RDL. If that first one was doable, grab heavier dumbbells. This is a big movement and you really are designed to be able to move some weight on this exercise. You're aiming for 8, 10, 15 or more pound dumbbells. And if you are more advanced and have a barbell, make this a Barbell Rdl. Are you ready? Feet about hip distance apart, toes are open slightly, bend your knees, dumbbells slide down your leg, keeping that arch in your lower back. Make sure at the top, right here, you're finishing the movement by getting your hips under your shoulders. There's such a tendency for people here to either overextend or underextend. So make sure that you're coming to perfect posture. Hips back, perfect posture. And that means you're activating and squeezing your glutes here so that the whole hip structure ends below your shoulders. 12 reps. If you're limited by your weight load and you want to make it harder, give me a 2-second pause before you come up. 2-second pause before you come up. One more, and let's move into that plank. Down on the floor, or as I said, if you want it to be a little modified, you can definitely come to an elevated surface like a chair, a dining room chair, or a couch, and you come to your forearms and let's hold 30 seconds here, holding, making sure that you're breathing, drawing your abdomen in, keeping your body nice and straight, making your body weight heavy back into your heels, keeping your hips lifted, and if you are on the ground with straightened arms and you're shifting your weight left to right to touch each shoulder, just make sure you're really trying to minimize that weight shift from side to side. 5 more seconds here, short little breath, and relax wherever you are. Come to your knees for a beat. This is just gonna help in the transition. And then when you stand up, lift your knees 6, 8, 10 times. If you want a harder workout today, go into a third superset of those 2 exercises. But I'm gonna show you the next superset, which is one of my favorites. If you know me, if you've been here before, you know I love a Bulgarian split squat. Ideally, you will have an elevated surface. Go grab even like a dining room chair or a living room chair, or even under the cushion of your couch is perfect. If you've got an exercise bench, that's actually the perfect scenario. But just know that you actually don't have to have an exercise bench for your Bulgarian split squat. Anything that's elevated a little tiny bit. Feet are gonna start together. Let me demonstrate these 2 moves. Feet together, knees are bent. 1 foot comes back and you're coming, let me feel out where my bench is. There she is. You're coming straight down and straight up, okay? Actually, technically it's not straight down and straight up. There is a bit of an angle here, but you wanna keep your body weight over the front leg. 12 reps. 12 reps on the other leg. Second exercise for our abs is going to be what I call leg lowering. You can do this on the floor, but it's extra great on an elevated surface because you're going to let your legs come all the way down. Now, if you're on the floor, your leg is gonna come down and just graze the floor before you bring it back up. You're alternating 1 leg at a time, 12 reps on each side, 24 or more in total. For your ab exercises, it is okay if you want to do more repetitions to make it harder because it's not a typical strength exercise. So, Bulgarian split squat, let's do it. You can do this body weight only. If you're newer to this move, do it body weight only because this one's a doozy for sure. But start with your feet together, bend your knees, keep your weaker leg in front, bring the other foot back, and here we go. We got 12 reps here, driving down and up, focusing on your front heel. Again, if body weight is easy for you, grab some dumbbells at your sides. And if this is hard for you, you can use your hand on your front leg. Here's the thing, my friend, this is a hard exercise. I had to practice this exercise body weight only for like a year before I really got my technique dialed in to the point where I was able to add dumbbells at my sides. So just know that if you are doing this body weight only, that's normal, and this is a tough exercise. I'd much rather you perfect your technique before you add weight loads. Reset your feet, other leg, keep the knees bent, other leg is going back, and here we go, 12 on that other side. When we're doing exercises like this, which are called unilateral, you're working on one side, right? Please make sure that you're really consistent with your counting because I want to make sure that you're getting 12 reps on each leg. Or if you do 13, I want to make sure you get 13 on both legs. Just make sure that you're keeping it balanced so that each leg is getting the same number of repetitions. Again, grab those dumbbells at your sides or at your shoulder if this is easy for you. 12 reps, about 2 more here. I realize my counting might be off. If you have found me on YouTube and you're not used to my workouts, just know that I focus my energy on teaching and I might not count so accurately. That's why you're in charge of counting. You can do this on the floor. If you're on the floor, you're gonna anchor your hands behind your head, or you're gonna put your elbows down into the ground here, lowering one leg up and switch. And if you're on an elevated surface with me, bring your hands up by your ears to anchor. Now I'm gonna teach you a secret. If you're on an exercise bench with me, and this is easy, bring your elbows to your sides, but you don't have any way to anchor them. So this automatically makes the exercise a lot harder if you're on an elevated surface. And if you're on the ground, you're able to push your elbows down into the floor to give you some traction and to give you a bit of anchoring, if you will. So you've got all kinds of options here. You can also bend your knees if this is a little too hard for you. Just modify it. Bending the knees and shortening the range of motion. The reason why I like this on an elevated surface is you're able to let your legs go a little bit lower because your foot's basically hanging off the bench. So it just makes it a little bit harder. Totally okay to do this on the floor. 24 in total, 12 on each leg. We're probably close. I'm gonna do one more. And bring your knees to your chest. Give me about 2 to 3 seconds of a rest. If you're on the floor, you're gonna roll over to your side. You're gonna sit up. You're gonna stand up and lift your knees. And if you're on an elevated surface, just use your legs to sit you up. Rest for a moment to let your body adjust to the upright position. And then we're gonna come back up on our feet, keep those legs moving, lift your knees, and we've got our second set. So, if your Bulgarian split squat is doable, go grab 3-pound dumbbells, 5-pound dumbbells, 8-pound dumbbells, whatever feels right for you so that it's challenging. And like I said before, if your Bulgarian split squat body weight only was challenging, that's normal and that's absolutely okay. This is a tough exercise. One leg is moving your entire body on this move. It is a doozy. I would actually say this is one of the hardest exercises of them all to perform. Make sure you start with your weaker leg in front. Knees are bent, here we go. Sitting down heavy into your front heel and driving into that front heel. Lifting your chest at the top, here. Use your breath to keep you fueled, bringing oxygen to the muscle. Your breath really is like the fuel to your body because it is what allows the muscle to recover and continue contracting. So make sure that you're really focusing on your breath, keeping your chest lifted at the top, focusing on that front leg, 12 reps, and then we're gonna go right to that other leg. Start with your feet together, nice and symmetric. Bend your knees. You're gonna have a better set when you take a beat to set up your set perfectly. Whole set ends up feeling so much better when you take that moment to really put yourself into position for the set. I notice it big time on leg exercises. Chest stays lifted. Shoulders are back and down. Even though you're not actively using your shoulders, we still want to keep them drawn back with your chest reaching forward. Use your breath, drive into that front heel. 2 more-ish for 12. And then we're gonna go into that alternating leg lowering, either on the floor or on your surface. I've even done this off my bed before. It's a little harder, but you can do it. Any elevated surface that you're able to just kind of get your torso onto can work. Both legs up, keeping your legs as straight as you can. So if you can't keep your legs straight here, that's okay, bend them. But if you are good at this exercise, we want to keep the arms unanchored and we want to really try and straighten out those knees. That's what's going to make this harder because when your knees are straight, your lever, which is the leg, is longer. And if your knee is bent, your lever is shorter. Now, that's not to say bending your knees is bad, because if this is hard for you, that's how you modify it to keep it safe. You bend the knees and you make your movement just a little bit smaller. 12 reps, each leg is 24 in total. I love this exercise. It's so good. It's an incredible way to really and truly hit your core, knees to chest when you're done. So you know that word core gets thrown around a lot to the degree where I think people forget what it really means. Using your core is using the whole of your torso in all directions to stabilize your spine. And this is a great exercise to do that because your lower body is moving. It's also a great exercise for those of you that tend to have neck issues when you're doing ab exercises. Back up your feet. If you want a harder workout, go ahead and do another set of that superset, but I'm going to show you the next superset. We're moving into more legs and shoulders. You are going to want a heavier weight load for this first exercise, which is a sumo squat. So a heavier dumbbell is great. If you're limited in your exercise equipment, you could use 2 dumbbells, but ultimately you want to use one that's kind of heavy let it hang down below you. Toes and feet are open at about 45 degrees, left and right. Soften the knees, and we're sitting straight down and straight up for your sumo squat. Straight down and straight up, getting your booty under you, a little bit of a tuck at the top so that your hips finish under your shoulders. Next exercise, you're gonna want moderate, maybe light dumbbells, depending on your deltoid strength. Feet are gonna be under you, arms are here. One arm is up, one arm is down, and we're swapping, straight up and over. So now because we're swapping, that automatically makes the intensity of the exercise heavier. That's why you might want like slightly lighter dumbbells than you would normally do for an overhead press. Okay, so first up is your sumo squat. Grab yourself a heavier dumbbell, the heaviest one that you've got. My 10 pounds was actually a little too light, so I'm using my 15-pound dumbbell. Toes are open, okay? Knees are bent, knees are heading in the same direction as your toes. Knees and toes in the same direction, chest is up. You're sitting straight down and stand. Make sure that you are finishing off the movement by ending with your hips under your shoulders. You still want to try to keep your chest up, okay? In some ways, this feels like a goblet squat, but it is quite different, largely because your weight load is underneath you, okay? Whereas a goblet squat, your weight load is above your hips at your chest. 12 reps, and if they're doable, you need more weight. Turn those glutes under, really squeeze at the top, 12 reps. And then we're gonna go into that overhead alternating press with dumbbells. Like I said, light to moderate, really depending on your ability. Feet are under your hips, shoulders back and down. Even though we're punching up, shoulders are back and down. Here we go. 12 on each arm is 24 in total. 24 in total, so count it out, and you can count that 1, 2, 3, 4 for 24, or you can count it 1 and 1, 2 and 2. I just want to make sure that you're getting the same number of repetitions on each arm. Really let your whole shoulder girdle release down to your hips. Super, super important. Even though we're pushing up, if you know me, shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down. It's a cheer. Shoulders back and down. If you learn nothing else from me and you walk away from the Holly Perkins workout remembering shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down, it's gonna change your life for real. It's gonna make your arms look better. It's gonna improve your deltoids. It's gonna relieve neck and shoulder problems. It's everything. Short little break, and then we'll go into our second set here. So take that moment to grab a drink of water, move around, turn up your music, tighten up your shoelaces, or grab a heavier dumbbell. So this sumo squat is a squat. It's a squat, okay? We're just doing it with a dumbbell and we're doing it down here. But the thing is, because this is such a big movement here, you really do want to be using a challenging weight load. Really and truly, listen, my friend, this is not just a high intensity, make you sweat, hard workout. There are other people out in the world to help you do that. This is about building lean muscle mass. And in order to do that, you have to use a challenging weight load where the last 2 reps are hard. Are you ready? Second set. Grab that heavy weight load. Toes are turned open, knees are heading in the same direction, chest is up. Where are your shoulders? Back and down. Here we go. 12 reps. Squeeze the glutes. Keeping that chest up. ending the move with a bit of a pelvic tuck, a bit, more or less. So with my hip structure and the way my glutes are, an exaggerated pelvic tuck works so good for my body. Now, not everybody has to do that. Nonetheless, you've got to get your hips under your shoulders, and you do have to squeeze your glutes here, okay? So squeeze your glutes, even if you're not getting as much of a tuck as I get. 12 reps. So good. And let's go into deltoid overhead pressing punch. Challenging weight load here. Shoulders, dumbbells at your shoulders, feet are under your hips. And here we go. One up, one down, swapping it out. Counting out, 12 on each side. And remember, release your shoulders down towards your hips. As soon as you do it, you'll see why. You'll go, oh my goodness, that Holly Perkins, she is really smart. But you will. You'll see right away why when you release your shoulder down towards the hip at the top and the bottom. Wow, it's so much better. It gets out of your traps and it puts the work into the deltoids, the lower traps and rhomboids, and your arms. Because the truth is, we don't really need to be actively strengthening and using the traps. You don't need to use your traps. You're gonna get them in exercises. We want you using your delts. And in order to do that, your shoulder girdle has to be down. Follow? Okay, another set of that if you please. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you our fourth superset here, similar to that last, and this is why I foreshadowed it. We've got Goblet Squat, which is similar to the sumo, but different, and a band upright row. Now, if you have a band nearby, grab it. You can also do this upright row with your dumbbell. So you've got two options here for the shoulder exercise. If you have a resistance band with a handle, please grab it, but I'll show you with dumbbells as well. Goblet squat, medium, moderate, heavyweight load, whatever works for you. Listen, the key with a goblet squat is you have to keep it in contact with your chest. You want to keep it right there, right up against your upper chest. Toes are turned open like your sumo squat, but now we're sitting deep, more deeply until the elbows come to the inner knees. Otherwise, it's a very similar movement pattern. You're sitting deeper and your dumbbell is here. Upright row with a band. You're gonna put your band on the ground, step in the middle, cross your handles, and you've got upright row with a band, or same exact movement pattern with dumbbells. Feet are hip distance, same movement pattern with dumbbells. It's up to you. We haven't used a band for a while, and I love band for upright row, but please feel free to use dumbbells if you want. Goblet squat, first set. Grab that weight load. It should be challenging. Put it in contact with your upper chest. Toes and knees turned open, sitting your glutes straight down and up. Bring your whole pelvis down enough that your pelvis is ending below your knees, okay? So if you're standing in front of a mirror, you should see the bottom of your booty below your knees at the bottom of this move. Simultaneously, keeping your chest way up. Keep your chest up. Squeeze those glutes. 12 reps. If it's comfortable, make a note so that you can grab a heavier dumbbell for our second set. Squeeze those glutes. One more. And now you've got upright row with a band or dumbbells. Is there a difference? Yes. Is one better than the other? No. They are just different. I also think it's great to just mix and match over time. Sometimes you use a resistance band, sometimes you use dumbbells. Elbows up nice and high and down. Now listen, if you've got currently problematic shoulders, you're gonna end with your elbows at the height of your shoulders. And if your shoulders are pretty good right now, I want you to end with your elbows a little higher than your shoulders, okay? Elbows higher than the shoulders here if you've got healthy shoulders. And if the band is really hard, go ahead and grab dumbbells. Because I will say, the difference is with a band, it's what we call variable resistance, right? Because when the band is stretched, it's harder. That's called variable resistance because the band is easy here, the band is real hard here. Whereas with a dumbbell, it's 10 pounds here, it's 10 pounds here, it's 10 pounds here, and it's 10 pounds here, right? That's why it is a stable weight load as compared to a variable weight load. And again, one is not better than the other. It's just two different modalities. And that's why I'm a fan of mixing and matching on workouts like this. If you always do it with dumbbells, grab a band and vice versa. Either way, let's go into our next second set. How was your goblet squat? If it was comfy, if you could say, I could have done that all day, I could do 25 reps. That's on you, my friend. You need a heavier dumbbell because I don't want you doing 25 reps. Cool? I want you doing 12 that are hard, or the last two you want to cuss, okay? Dumbbell at your chest. Grab a heavier dumbbell if you need to. Set those feet, bend those knees. Hips are gonna end below your knees, and you're gonna squeeze your butt at the top. Even if you just give me a little bit of a butt squeeze at the top, that's great. If you're newer to these workouts and your glutes are a little sleepy or a little weak, it might be a little harder for you to squeeze your glutes at the top. Don't worry about it. You'll get it over time. They'll wake up, they'll start firing a little bit better over time. Just make sure you're ending with your hips under you, abs nice and tight. One more, going into upright row. Dumbbells or band. Since I did the first one with a band with you, I'll do the second with dumbbells, which I think if I had to choose a favorite, which is really hard, if I had to, I think I would say upright row with dumbbells is probably my preferred. I just love the way it feels. It feels so good right there. Oh, it feels so good. Now I have super functional and healthy shoulders. And so this is just heaven. Nothing feels better. Well, there's probably some things that feel better, but I love that with the dumbbell. So, like I said, if this doesn't feel awesome for you, you're gonna stop a little short. You just stop a little short, okay? So that you hit those deltoids, the outside of the shoulder, but in a way that doesn't irritate anything in your shoulder if you've got funky shoulders, okay? 12 reps, working hard. It's gonna make your arms look amazing. Short break, keep it moving. Grab some water. If you want a harder workout today, you're gonna do a third set of those two moves. Otherwise, we're gonna move on to our fifth and final superset. Another challenging exercise. I love this one because it's gonna get your heart rate up. Now listen, you can do this first exercise body weight only. Like that Bulgarian split squat, this first exercise is quite challenging. And if it's doable and comfortable for you, you can hold one dumbbell here or one dumbbell at each side. You're gonna start with your feet together, body weight or weight load. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do, but we are doing alternating reverse lunges for 12 on each leg. So you can count out 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, or you can just count out a total of 24 repetitions with or without a weight load. Totally up to you. If you're unsure, add 1 dumbbell here. If you know how to do this, 1 dumbbell at each side. So 2 dumbbells, right? And then the last exercise, we haven't done this for a while. I love this one. You are gonna want a moderate to light dumbbell on this, because this one is definitely challenging. So maybe 3 or 5 pound dumbbells here. Rarely will I see a woman be using an 8 pound dumbbell on this exercise, but I'm not here to stop you. If that's you, go for it. Feet together, knees bent, shoulders back and down. We are cycling shoulders out, forward, down, and reverse. Forward, out, that's 1. We're gonna do 8 cycles, more or less, depending on your ability, okay? Out, forward, down, reverse, forward, out, that's 1, okay? All right, let's start with those alternating reverse lunges. Body weight, 1 dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, totally up to you. I think I'm gonna do 1 dumbbell to start. Let's see how that feels. 1 dumbbell is gonna be at your chest, feet together. Yep, feet together, knees are soft, standing nice and tall, and you're just gonna step back, step forward, and alternate. Now, it's so easy to think of this exercise as an exercise for the moving leg, right? You're probably thinking about, where's my foot going? Back behind me. But what I actually want you thinking about is your front leg. This is a front leg exercise. So before you step back, think about your front leg, okay? Power and energize your front leg, and more specifically, keep your body weight and the pressure focused on the front heel, keeping your toes as relaxed as you can, and keep that alternating, 24 in total. It's definitely gonna get your heart rate up. You can move faster or slower. Driving into your front heel. Such a great little cardiovascular boost. And relax. We're gonna go right into that shoulder cycle. 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 5 pounds, maybe 6 pounds. Above 6 pounds, I'd love to check your technique, or you're not gonna do a whole lot of repetitions, because above 6 pounds here, there's such a tendency to get sloppy. Shoulders back and down, here we go. Out, forward, reverse. That's 1, okay? 6, 8, or 10 here. And there's 2. Shoulders down towards your hips. And there's 3. Keep control of those dumbbells. Keep your abs nice and tight. Halfway, 4 more. And I don't want you to move too quickly on this either. A lot of people, I'll see them really flying through this quickly. You want it to be super deliberate, very deliberate, pausing at each end point. Pause, pause, brief pause, 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 brief pause. We got 1 more. 1 more here, full cycle, shoulders back and down. That is such a good shoulder and arm exercise that you should be feeling. Take a short break, walk it out, get a drink of water. So I really saved the most challenging exercise superset for this last one, and you really should be feeling it. So this is our last superset, unless you're gonna do a third. So on that reverse lunge, I really want you to challenge yourself. How did that last set feel? If you were like, it was hard, but I could do more. That means you go heavier. I hear this a lot. A lot of times with the women that I work with, I hear, you know, a common response is, yeah, it was okay, it was hard. Yeah, I don't know, I could probably do more. The name of the game is to be able to say, holy cow, that was hard, there's no way I could do more. That's the goal, is that at the end of a set, you're like, I could not do more. And if you say that, your weight load is in the right place. And if you say anything less than that, then we know we can challenge you a little bit more, okay? Now, I'm not here to crush you, but we do want the end of the set to be definitively challenging. Knees are bent, feet together. Here we go. 12 on each leg, still keeping shoulders retracted, especially if you're holding dumbbells at your sides like I am. Keep your shoulders retracted. And what that means is you're pulling your shoulders together towards each other. And you might be thinking, wait, this is a leg exercise. Why does it matter what my shoulders are doing? Because you don't move in isolation. Your lower body is not moving without the upper body. And when you lock in your entire body into perfect technique, when you lock in where your upper body is and where your shoulders are, you get a better result on the lower body as well. Focus on that front leg, shoulders drawn towards each other. 24 in total. Use your breath. And relax. Going in for that shoulder cycle. Last set of the workout. So, what's your weight load? Are you gonna work where you were on that last set? Or are you going a little heavier? Up to you. Feet under you, shoulders back. Here we go. Out, forward, down, then reverse. Neck is nice and long. There's one for 6, 8, or 10. It's up to you, okay? You might find that if you did your first set right, this set's like already pre-fatigued. Therefore, if you're pre-fatigued here, you might only do 6 cycles. And if you underworked on that last set, maybe you do 10 this time. Use your breath. Shoulders back and down. Very deliberate, hit your spots. Hit, 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 reverse. Hit, hit, hit. None of this. None of this stuff. It's not what we're doing. Very deliberate end points. That's taking out momentum, and that's making your deltoids work harder. This is a deltoid predominant exercise, so I want to set you up to really focus on primary mover being your deltoids, and you're done. Walk it out. If you want to do a third set, go for it. We're going to take about 20 seconds here for just a quick little recovery, and then I'm going to take you through a few stretches, cool down moves before you head off on your day. If you're watching this in playback on YouTube, come over and visit me at hollyperkins.com. I've got an incredible, totally free download. It is a 6-week strength and cardio program. For real, I give you all of the programming, all of the exercises, video tutorials, repetitions, rest phases for home and gym. 6 weeks plus cardio programming, totally free. Come to hollyperkins.com/offer. If you're watching me on YouTube, the link is below. And if you're on my blog, hello, just look down below and you'll see where you can sign up to receive my emails. Short little break. Let's take our feet separated. Knees are soft, and we're gonna come into some spinal rotation here. So start gently. I love this after a workout because it releases some just kind of stickiness that has a tendency to build up through the spine, the hips, and because this was a shoulder workout, you'll really feel some stickiness and restriction through the shoulders. Make sure that you're activating and clamping down on the glute that you're turning away from. What that does is it creates a foundation so that you can rotate around it more safely. We want to keep the foundation of the spin, which is your pelvis, somewhat anchored down and stable, but just let your arms kind of go where they go. It just feels so good. You can do this every single day to relieve some stress. Every hour on the hour. If you're sitting at work, it's just so good for everything. Take a deep inhale up. Exhale, bring your fingertips back behind you, back behind your head, and then I want you to actively press your elbows back as if you were standing at a wall and you wanted to push your elbows back into the wall. Push back, letting your chest come forward for just a really good shoulder opener. And then we're gonna continue that shoulder opener by releasing and then bringing your hands back behind you to interlock, and then actively extend your hands back and down. You don't have to lift up. The truth is, I like reaching back and then down with your chest lifted. You wanna really think about pushing your chest out, right? See, look, you could do it here, or you could do it here, and really stick your chest out. And that's what I want, is to activate that chest forward, to open up the chest, elongate your biceps, open up the shoulders, and relax. 2 more. Take a big inhale up just to cool you down a bit. Exhale. We're gonna go into our very important quad stretch. If you can do this freestanding, please do so, but no shame in using something for balance. Feet together, knees bent, okay, important. Bring one heel up back behind you. If this is challenging, just grab your shoe, grab your pant leg, okay? But I want you to bring your heel towards your booty. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take your pelvis and tuck it under. When you tuck it under, your knee is gonna push forward. Keep your pelvis tucked under, draw your knee back. Look down. The bent knee should be behind your standing knee. Tuck the pelvis under, draw the knee back, and that is how you get an effective quad stretch. Really important to orchestrate the pelvis and the knee rather than just doing this. I can't tell you. Relax, other side. I can't tell you how many times in the 30 years I've been coaching people, especially men. I see this with men all the time. It cracks me up. They're like, I don't get it. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. You know? It's like pull your heel closer to your butt. I still don't feel it. And then you see people coming into this. Like, how often do you see this? I see this at the gym all the time. You got to engage the hip and the knee. So, hip rotates under, knee draws back. Good. Hold and breathe. Ladies, you should be doing this every single day. So important to keep the quads lengthened and mobile so that your knees are healthy. And relax it out. One more big inhale. If you want to join us for one of these workouts live, like all of my friends that are behind the scenes here, come on over to hollyperkins.com/free workout, and you can be here with us live on a Saturday. I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.